Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Jasodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe. Jayo Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Jayo Gaurang Nitai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotra Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srilaprabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotra Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Srilaprabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 15th chapter, text number 10 to 13. Text number 10, 11 and 12. I'll read it by myself. 13 will read together. Yesha devaditer garbha ojah kashyapam arpitam dishastimirayan sarva vardate agnirivaidasi. Translation. As fuel overloads a fire, so the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe. Very small purport. The darkness throughout the universe is explained herewith as being caused by the embryo created in the womb of Diti by the semen of Kashyapa. Text number 11. Maitreya uvacha saprayasya mahabhavo bhagavan shabdagocharaha pratyachashtatma-bhur-devan prinan ruchiraya graha. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, thus Lord Brahma, who is understood by transcendental vibration, tried to satisfy the demigods, being pleased with their words of prayer. Purport. Brahma could understand the misdeeds of Diti and therefore he smiled at the whole situation. He replied to the demigods present there in words they could understand. Text number 12. Brahma uvacha manasa me suta yushmat purvajaha sanakadayaha cherur vihayasa lokal lokeshu vigataspraha. Translation. Lord Brahma said, my four sons, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara, who were born from my mind, are your predecessors. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. Purport. When we speak of desire, we refer to desire for material sense gratification. Saintly persons like Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara have no material desire. But sometimes they travel all over the universe out of their own accord to preach devotional service. Text number 13. We'll read it. Taye kada bhagavato vaikuntasyamalatmanaha yayur vaikunta nilayam sarvaloka namaskritam taye kada bhagavato vaikuntasyamalatmanaha yayur vaikunta nilayam sarvaloka namaskritam taye kada bhagavato vaikuntasyamalatmanaha yayurvaikunta nilayam sarvaloka namaskritam.
एकदा भगवतो वैकुण्ठस्यात्मदात्मनः ययुर्वैकुण्ठनिलयं सर्वलोकानमस्कृतम्.
Word meaning? Te, they, ekada, once upon a time, Bhagavataha, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vaikuntasya, of Lord Vishnu, Amalatmanaha, being freed from all material contamination, Yayuhu, entered, Vaikunta Nilayam, the abode of Vaikunta, abode named Vaikunta, Sarvaloka, by the residents of all the material planets. Namaskritam, worshipped. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srilaprabhupada. Translation. After thus traveling all over the universes, they also entered into the spiritual sky, for they were freed from all material contamination. In the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikuntas, which are the residents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure devotees, and are worshipped by the residents of all the material planets. Please repeat the translation. After thus traveling all over the universes, they also entered into the spiritual sky, for they were freed from all material contamination. In the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas, which are the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure devotees, and are worshipped by the residents of all the material planets. Purport. The material world is full of cares and anxieties. In any one of the planets, beginning from the highest down to the lowest, Patala, every living creature must be full of cares and anxieties, because in the material planets one cannot live eternally. The living entities, however, are actually eternal. They want an eternal home, an eternal residence, but because of accepting a temporal abode in the material world, they are naturally full of anxiety. In the spiritual sky, the planets are called Vaikuntha because the residents of these planets are free from all anxieties. For them, there is no question of birth, death, old age, and diseases, and therefore they are not anxious. On the other hand, the residents of the material planets are always afraid of birth, death, disease, and old age, and therefore they are full of anxieties. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishnaprestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we can see here the demigods who, after seeing the various aspects of bad omens, they have approached to their superior authority, who is Lord Brahma, and apprising Lord Brahma about the impending bad omens and asking Lord Brahma to find a remedy for this bad omens, as well as to find out what is the reason for these very bad omens. So Brahma, after hearing the humble questions and requests from the various demigods, is now replying to their questions. So before Brahma replies, Maitreya is saying, because this whole Leela is Maitreya describing these aspects to Vidura. So Maitreya is saying that after Brahma heard the prayers, requests of the demigods, he is saying, Saprahasya Mahabhavo Bhagavan Shabda Gocharaha Pratyachashtatma Bhudevan Prinan Ruchiraya Gira. So Brahma is pleased with the way in which the demigods have spoken to him. So You see, in previous class also we have discussed that how the demigod society, they are very cultured people, very refined. So again, another aspect of that very cultured and refined behavior is being appreciated by Lord Brahma. In fact, Prabhupada says that our ashram, in one place Prabhupada says, in the ashram the atmosphere should be like Devaloka. The way one devotee communicates to the other devotee, the way we behave should become very exemplary. Somebody who is pursuing Krishna consciousness, obviously in all ways his behavior should become exemplary. In fact, Prabhupada says that a Krishna conscious devotee is even higher than the demigods, because he is directly serving Krishna with no material desire. Demigods have some traces of material desire, but a Krishna conscious devotee, because his aim is to serve Krishna, is bereft of even material desires. So somebody who is bereft of material desires, when he is considered to be higher than even the demigods, obviously his behavior also should be on par with that standard. So when the way we behave, the way we talk, the way we communicate, we should remember that the standards that are expected from us is very, very high. In the material world, somebody who is uncultured, unrefined, the way they speak loudly to each other, they will abuse each other in so many ways. Whereas Prabhupada says that even when we address each other, we should address each other as Prabhu. Prabhu means recognition that the other devotee is the master and I am his servant. That the mood of servitude should always be, we should always be conscious that I am servant, not the master. The other person is the master. So every individual thinks of themselves as servant and allows every other person to become the master. That is the mood of Vaishnava society. In a Vaishnava community, every person thinks that he is servant and the other Vaishnava is the master. Dasosmi. I am servant. So if this mood is there, that if the Dasosmi mood is there, if every devotee is maintaining this Dasosmi mood, there is no question of any friction, there is no question of any war of words, nothing. Because the master has the right to order others. The master has the right to order others, and the servant has the right only to accept the other person's orders. So a servant cannot take offense that somebody is ordering him. Obviously, if you are a servant, then everybody will be ordering you. So if this mood we can maintain, then it is we are not in the material world at all. We are in the spiritual world. If we don't maintain this mood, then although we may be living in a so-called spiritual community, but the mood will always be material. By our words we may say Prabhu, but the mood, if the mood is not Prabhu, if the mood is I am the Lord, then what is the meaning of that word? There is no meaning. We have to live that word, live that language. Material world is only make-believe. They may say, just like a businessman is saying, I am here to serve you. Businessman is not there to serve you. The businessman is there to serve himself. Right? So in many people can say many things, many words may come out of their mouth, very beautiful words will come out of their mouth. Salesman will come to your house and make you feel you are the king. But what is the intention of the salesman? Somehow or the other I should sell. Good or bad, my product I have to sell. And for that I will butter up anything and everything and say in a words in which is pleasing to you. That's all. That is the intention. Vaishnava society should not become like that. One is fake goodness and the other is rudeness. Both are bad. Somebody who is having no this one, crass language, crass behavior. And then, so in the material world, you will generally find only these two categories. Either they are fake or they are extremely obnoxious behavior. These both kind of varieties you will find. Whereas the demigod society, the Devalokas, the people are very well behaved. Very well behaved. And we can see when we are reading Bhagavatam how the society was during, how they respected the authority, how they approached the authority. If there was something that they wanted, in what mood they went and talked to them. And how the authority also behaved with their subjects. Very wonderful lessons for all of us to learn. We behave so loose. That's why Rupa Goswami says the principles of bhakti, vacho vegam, manaso vegam, krodho vegam, jivva vegam, uduro pasta vegam, different kinds of vegas. Vegas means what? Forces. There are different kinds of vases. Vacha vega, our the way we talk, we are forced sometimes for no reason we speak so harshly, even when there is no need for it. Without any reason, in Kali Yuga, we just speak so harshly. Or sometimes there is no reason for you to be fake, but yet we behave fake. Manaso Vegaha, the force of the mind is so brittle, just gets forcefully taken away by so many things. Krodha Vegaha, anger, becomes so angry. All those different kinds of Vegas. Because of lack of proper spiritual strength. If we are Krishna conscious, then we will be able to manage all these things. Not just manage it, that will become our nature. That becomes our nature. So, Lord Brahma, after he heard the appeal of the demigods, is replying, very happily replying, that, what is he saying? Manasa me suta yusmat pravajah sanakadayah cherur viha yasa loka lokeshu vigataspraha. So the demigods were telling, we are seeing lot of bad omens, so many things, this is not good. We have come here to find out what is this. So then Brahma knows what is the reason. So he is saying that he is telling the story, what is going to actually happen. You see, Brahma is also, in one sense, he is a Trikalagnya. He knows the past, present and future. So he is foreseeing what is going to happen, and he is telling the demigods, his subjects, and he is saying the story of what is going to come. And he is saying, there was once. What is that? Brahma is saying, my 4 sons, my Manasa Putras. The 4 sons, who are the Manasa Putras? Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara. My 4 sons, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara, who were born from my mind, are your predecessors. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. Without any definite desire. How to understand this word? Brahma is saying, my 4 sons, Manasa Putras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara, your predecessors, they traveled throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. So, Prabhupada is, when we hear this at first like, without any definite desire, what does it mean? मतलब कोई काम धंधा है नहीं, ऐसे ही घूम रहा है इधर उधर. Is it like that? And here, for us, we are doing काम धंधा नहीं है. We go from this road, that friend to this friend's house, and then come back. Time pass. So, were they indulging in frivolous time pass? So, Prabhupada in the purport is saying here, when we speak of desire, we refer to desire for material sense gratification. In the material world, you see somebody who is working, काम धंधा नहीं है, इधर उधर घूम रहा है. What is it purpose for? When he is roaming here and when he is traveling, roaming around here and there, what is he doing? He will go to first one house. There he will see, he wants some sense gratification. He will find some company there. He will sit and chat. Little maja he will get. Then he will tell, okay, iske saath itna maja mila, next I will go somewhere else. I will get some more. So you see, the mood is always sense gratification. So, whereas saints like the 4 Kumaras, they are traveling, they are going here and there. For what? To actually preach Krishna consciousness. They are finding happiness in, just like in the material world, material people are finding happiness in sense gratification. But great saints like these 4 Kumaras are finding happiness in preaching Krishna consciousness. So they are traveling here and there. There is no guarantee that they will, but still they are moving here and there. So sometimes for us also we are told, no, whatever it is, morning 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11:30, you should be out, you should go and preach. Prabhu, I don't know what to do, where I'll preach. I don't know whom to talk to. Nobody is interested in Krishna consciousness. And you are telling us to go. Many times even I used to think, where do I go now? I don't have any place to go. Where to preach? No, you go out and preach. You go out and do whatever you want, but you should preach. You should go out. The same point is there. You have to go out and preach. See, even this so-called thing which we are facing, all of us are faced, no? Kahan jaye bhai? So that is not our problem, it is a problem even of Sanaka Sanandana Sanat Kumaras. From that time, these things are going on. We have to go. Take our bag and then start. We may know this one. But suddenly Krishna somewhere manifests, and we have seen. We have gone out like that, and we have met so many people, and we have been able to connect and preach Krishna's message and make them do service for the Lord in various ways. It doesn't matter small place, big place, small town, big town. No. Our duty is to go. At this time, this is what I should be doing. I'll be going. So, you see, Prabhupada is saying, when we speak of desire, we refer to desire for material sense gratification. Saintly persons like Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara have no material desire. But sometimes they travel all over the universe out of their own accord to preach devotional service. Just like Srila Prabhupada, he went. We are having all facility to go out. We are blessed with everything, with all opulence. Whereas when Srila Prabhupada started, oh my God, on a ship, in the ocean, alone, one man, unknown place, 80, 70 years of age, physically unwell, goes to an unknown country, stays with the worst kind of people. And then in that, if you read Leela-amrita, in that Leela-amrita, when that guy with whom Prabhupada is living, in that, what is that place? Bowery. When Prabhupada is living in the Bowery in New York, that fellow, drug addict, when he starts taking and throwing Prabhupada's things, Prabhupada just walks down the loft, comes down on the street of New York, and Prabhupada, that describes, Satsvarup Maharaj very nicely describes that pastime. Prabhupada is on the road. Prabhupada is saying, I don't know, left to go or right to go. Nowhere to go. Where should I go? I can't go back, I can't stay here. Such kind of a Trishanku state it is. But somebody who is surrendered to Krishna, he is very determined. It doesn't matter. That faith is there, that Krishna will guide. Similarly, our devotees, wherever we are, whatever Krishna has given us, we must have that strong faith. Whether I have capability, whether I don't have capacity to work, whether I have intelligence, whether I don't have intelligence, it doesn't matter. If I have to serve Krishna, then whether I have health, whether I have no health, I am weak, I don't have the energy, I am having so many diseases. In every parameter, if you see, Srila Prabhupada was lacking in everything. Just like I used to think sometimes when I first started, when I used to talk to foreigners, Americans, British, the way they speak, there is sometimes a sense of inferiorness. The way you feel inferior to speak to them. The way they look, they're so tall, beautiful people, and their English and everything is so nice. So I used to feel little reluctant. Initially, a lot of foreigners and all used to come in Bangalore when I used to stay. Sometimes we used to interact. So I used to feel little awkward. Something foolishly, if I say something, what will happen? But then we realized, when we started speaking, and because of course we are only talking whatever Prabhupada and Krishna conscious things are there which we are talking. So you understand, you are equipped with everything. Or in other words, sometimes, small boys, we are going and meeting big people. So big people, materially, so compared to us, they are far big people. But yet, we are even able to talk to them, relate to them, take them into Krishna. On our material platform, they would not even have talked to us. We are nowhere near them if you are strictly material basis. But yet Krishna has given us that, strength to go talk to them, relate to them. I am seeing new bhaktas, new devotees, how they are able to handle big, rich people, well-to-do people. That confidence comes naturally. Just comes naturally. So these four Kumaras, they are traveling everywhere. So we must not think that I am lacking something. Not that artificially you think that, but because of the faith that I am guided and protected and nourished by Krishna, and my purpose of my life is to serve Krishna. So I will be able to handle whatever comes in that way of executing Krishna conscious activity. If that faith is there, we will be able to aram se navigate all these kind of issues. Tayekada Bhagavata Vaikuntasya Amalatmanaha Yayur Vaikunta Nilayam Sarva Loka Namaskritam. So in the course of this going around here and there, the four Kumaras, where did they reach? They reached the Vaikuntas. So the four Kumaras reached Vaikuntas. And then Shukadeva Goswami or Maitreya Rishi is telling the description of Vaikunta. He is saying, what is this Vaikunta? After traveling all over the universes, they also entered into the spiritual sky, for they were freed from all material contamination. In the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikuntas, which are the residents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure devotees, and are worshipped by the residents of all the material planets. A small description of how the spiritual planets are, what is their condition there. So here Shukadeva Goswami is saying that the spiritual, Vaikuntha planet, the spiritual skies are freed from all material contamination. What is material contamination? Prabhupada says, in the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas. And Prabhupada is describing that the material world is full of cares and anxieties. You see, full of cares. Even when I was reading this purport, just before I was coming to the class, I was thinking, what do you mean by cares? In English, Prabhupada is describing this as the material world is full of cares and anxieties. We know material world is full of anxieties. But what do you mean by cares? How do you understand cares? Then I understood what Prabhupada is meaning by cares. The material world is full of cares. Like for example, what does it care? Like for example, we say, I have to care my body. I have to care for my body. Or I have to care for my other fellow family members, fellow samaj, everything I have to care. So when I have to care means what? That means today, you cannot say, I have to, if there is a small thing, I have to care for it. Say, every time I am frightened, oh, that is fire, oh, this is water, I have to be careful of that. Right? So there is always that sense that in the material world, like for example, even if I am walking, say this step is there. If I am not careful, if I miss that step, I will fall down. Although that you see, it's hardly 4 inches there. But that 4 inches can dislocate my legs if I miss my step. Right? So material world is full of cares and anxieties. Anxiety. Oh, tomorrow who will give my food? You are worried. If I don't work, if I lose my job, if my close person dies, tomorrow I get some disease. Anxiety. You're always anxious. Tomorrow if my boss gets angry at me, if he kicks me out of the job, if my son doesn't take care of me, if my daughter does some wrong thing, I will have no face in the society. So many different varieties and varieties of anxieties. So Prabhupada is saying, Maitreya Rishi is saying, the nature of the Vaikuntha planet is what? This kind of cares and anxieties are absent. In Vaikuntha, the point is that just imagine in Vaikuntha, you will never fall down and dislocate your leg. That is not going to happen there. The world, there it is designed like that. The whole planet is designed that you will not have that problem at all. Just like you see, you compare India and even developed country. Like for example, if you compare India and European city or American city, I have given this example. CPP used to give this example. In Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, once he was saying that, Indian Institute of Science is the top science university in India. Bigger, more prominent, more famous, one of the top universities of the world. So he was saying, all the children, all the students there who are studying are brilliant students. So he was saying that once in that institute in Bangalore, there was a notice put that one big chemistry professor who is a Nobel laureate, some foreigner, he was coming to give a lecture in the college. So all the students were very happy that such a big Nobel laureate professor of chemistry is coming and to the college. So there was buzz. So he came and he was delivering his lecture. The auditorium was jam-packed, full of students were there to hear his lecture. So in the lecture, he started off by saying what? He is from America. So he has come first time to Bangalore, India. And from the airport, Bangalore airport, he came to IISc. So when he was coming in IISc, he came via Majestic and via Bangalore Old Airport. So via Malleshwaram and all those kind of things. And you know how the Bangalore roads are? It is also small roads and cars and bikes, and you know how traffic will be in India, like this. He has never seen this. And he was saying, I am sitting in the car and I am thinking, now accident will happen. But he's saying, no accident is happening. Car is going nicely, bike is going nicely, no accident. Car is going like this, bike is coming in the front. Then he said, my God, I have never seen any traffic like this. In America, it's not like that. People are very lane conscious. You cannot break lanes. Everybody will go in their lanes. So disciplined way everything, traffic is maintained. In India, what traffic? You will find vegetables and cows and dogs and everything on the street, and everybody are living. Sometimes happens something, that's different. But still, largely things move on. No, in India, how we work. So he is shocked. What is happening here? And then he says, so basically he won Nobel Prize in DNA RNA structure. He designed something, how the DNA structure is of the body. He's saying, when I saw the Bangalore traffic, so the DNA is an helix. Okay, you know how, I don't know if you have studied in school, how the DNA's structure is. So he said that how the cells navigate in the RNA and DNA and they never interact and collide. So I understood. Now I know if RNA, DNA structure, it will never collide. When I see the Bangalore traffic, I can make out that this is a true way in which DNA, RNA will not collide. So you see how that person is from a different country, he is from where he is living in a very nice environment, where accidents, to manage the accidents, they have created material world like this. So when I say that in Vaikuntha there is no question of an accident, we think, how is it possible? You can say accidents will be reduced, but to say you will never fall down, it seems to us to be a very far-fetched idea. It doesn't seem to be real, but it is real. Even in this world we can see that, you see, when there is a well-developed place like in Europe or in US, the accident rates are far lesser than what it is here. The living standards are far higher than what it is here. So why are we not able to comprehend that there is another world wherein the quality of life is far, far superior than this? Not only the quality of life is entirely different from this material world. So Prabhupada is saying that the material world is full of cares and anxieties. In any one of the planets, beginning from the highest down to the lowest patala, every living creature must be full of cares and anxieties. Because in the material planet, one cannot live eternally. The biggest, the most prominent anxiety is what? All of us are fearful of death. We don't know when it will come. And we are worried. And that anxiety is not there in the Vaikuntha planet. So in the description, what Maitreya is saying, is giving a glimpse to the demigods that this Vaikuntha planet is completely different from what we are living in. Although they are living in much superior world than our earthly planet, and for those demigods also, they are finding it very surprising to hear from Brahma that the Vaikuntha Loka is like that. So the Bhagavatam is opening our eyes to a different realm of realities. For us, for a person who is who cannot get a proper meal, who doesn't have a proper house, for him ultimate reality is a house and proper meal. His vision will be limited to only that much. Whereas a person who is well versed in scriptural knowledge, his idea of reality will not be like this kind of small vision. His vision will be very, very large. So when we use our intelligence in reading Shastra, our world will become very, very big. Sometimes we meet some people. Sometimes they will tell, Swamiji, I did this, I did that. I have got this one, I have got that one. So many things like that. We feel, what is the purpose of this? What is the great thing that you have got with all these kind of things? Not really so grand. But because he doesn't have anything more, he has no idea of anything to look beyond these things, he keeps talking about those things. Nothing else, that's all. So the repeatedly when we like for example, Maya makes us takes us to some realities and shows us sometimes we are in the spiritual organization, but because we are also part of this material world, we interact with material world, and some successes and joys that we get in the material world makes us forget that there is a higher joy, higher purpose that exists. So we should repeatedly, again and again, apply our consciousness spiritually. So Prabhupada says, like for example, our sadhana, every day we come back, we get up in the morning, we chant Krishna's name, we attend Aarti, we hear nice class, we read Prabhupada's books. Then we don't get driven away by so-called material successes here and there. Just like material name, fame, adoration, we will get. And when we get material name, fame, adoration, we feel nice about it. Wow, I feel very nice. People are appreciating me. Even in the process of preaching, sometimes when we preach nicely, people will come and people will nicely praise us. So many things they will do. So we will tell, wow, I felt nice. But we should, when we read, when we again apply our spiritual consciousness, when we work on a Krishna consciousness, we understand, no, what is this adoration? This is very cheap adoration. This is cheap fame. This is cheap name. That's why we should repeatedly keep reapplying our mind spiritually, so that we are not enamored or captivated by so-called material name, fame, adoration. We will be very grounded. We will not be taken away by all these kind of things. So, even though we are in the spiritual organization, Maya can come in various ways and forms. And it has got in different ways it can trap us. Until and unless you're spiritually really connected, you'll not be able to discriminate all these things. Okay, we'll stop here. If there are any question, comments? Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srilaprabhupada ki.